price, for luxury cars. Okay, now one last thing, and I'm going to be a bit controversial on this. It's the phenomena of the domestic helpers taking Central on Sunday. Now, I think for many years, it's been on our social conscience. Whenever we're in Central, we just look away from them. I don't know how many of us actually have stopped by and talked to those Filipino in Central, and how many of us actually know some of the basic Tagalog to converse with them. But the fact that the CDB is taken over by a dominant social group, let's forget about their ethnicity. But the fact that it's not very comfortable for them, it's not very dignified way of them, to spend the Sunday, and it's almost like it's a civil action, from them, because even though they spend 6 days of the week, working for the middle class, so that they could do the work, but on the day of rest, they are just nobody seems to know what to do with them, and it has created some kind of imbalance. I just wonder whether whether the arts can mediate that kind of situation. And as a civil society, what should we do about that? I don't have any answers to that, because I think any social group that dominates a space just make the city a little bit unbalanced. I'd like to leave that thought with you, and I don't know what Vienna as the most livable city. The Viennese municipal government, how would they deal with a situation like this? And I'm sure that they many years of experience running the greatest, used to be the greatest empire in Europe. Their involvement in the Second World War, all the organization, I'm sure that they will find better solutions than our government has done. Well, our government actually doesn't have the political will to change that. I think neither does it have the mandate from the people, because it's not an elected government. So here you are. That's my thoughts. Thank you.
Is there anybody that wants to comment on that one quickly? So I mean, and the walkways are up there. We have different opinions piling up on that issue. So I think we'll pick that up later after the break. I like the point about seating and elective seating. I think that's an observation that at least I would agree with. And I like the idea of being controversial. So why don't we try to address that later on? So I just wonder whether we should just go down the line and ask Henry to do your thing. How does that work? You have to wait for a second. I have to use your presentation on the screen and then go very soon.
First of all, is this on? Yeah, good. Okay. There are a few points here, and before I do my visual presentation, which Paul insisted on, I thought I'd give a sort of a commercial. You mentioned Vienna, and Paul mentioned Manhattan. There are also, of course, Paris and London as walking cities. And they have one major advantage over Hong Kong, which is that they're flat. But the other characteristic they share is that there's a sense of history. There are old buildings, places that have a background. And that's where we tend to be a little bit short, partly because of the desire to tear down anything that's over 50 or 60 years old and put up something nice and shiny glass, chrome, marble, and that can make more money. We have not too many hundred meters west of us an old place, which is our Acropolis. It's the, all in all, probably the oldest place in Hong Kong. That's the Central Police Headquarters, which is a marvelous bit of planning and organization for its purpose. And it's quietly moldering, and has been for 10 years, I suppose, maybe more. It should be a place that we have access to. It's got lots of rooms, lots of buildings, but there are these grandiose plans for glass towers, God knows what else. So that until that happens, there's no access to the place. There have been a few open days when we were sort of allowed in there, but it's still there. And since the behavior of the government is duplicitous, I can't help but feel suspicious about what's going on there. I think the Acropolis, the Greek one, is, it doesn't need glass towers or anything else. It just needs restoration. And that's what this needs. I was told by somebody with the Academy for Performing Arts that their biggest shortcoming is rehearsal spaces. And it occurred to me, well, they have lots of nice rooms that are fairly soundproof in the Central Police Headquarters, which, with a bit of whitewash, would be perfect for this purpose. Just move the instruments in, and it can be on a monthly basis, on a, however long you want, and it's there. But no, it's not being used. Which just points out the quote, bright ideas of government that don't seem to work out. Cyberport, Disneyland, and this wonderful municipal, whatever it is on the waterfront that's coming up. Which is why I feel that Hong Kong is Bruce Lee becoming Jackie Chan.